All right, so I just got done recording a sick reaction video. I had to put it together. I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff right now. I've got cameras and lights and all sorts of stuff going on here. I intend to make some proper videos very soon. So make sure to keep your eyes out for that and enjoy this video. And if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button. I need those subscribers more than ever right now. And make sure if you get subscribed, you know that you're getting a free PC if you get selected when we hit 5,000 subs. All right, watch the video. All right, so we're looking at a video here called Game Publishers Want to End Preservation, but we have a chance to stop them now. That's pretty interesting to me. Buckle up, we're going to have a nice little reaction video here.
How must it feel being Ubisoft right now?
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
What to them probably felt like a slightly disappointing but otherwise ordinary business decision
Ubisoft
has
is
all of a sudden put at the center
right
of
now.
community and government action that could affect the entire game industry.
Yeah, if you're not aware, Ubisoft and Activision, they're all trying to go to subscription services for all their games. Basically, Ubisoft started the trend of you just don't own your games. Whatever. Who cares? They're ours. And when you're done playing them, we tell you.
All to stop companies like them doing what they just did. If you're not familiar with the situation, The Crew was a racing game published by Ubisoft in December of 2014. I say because it doesn't exist anymore. The Crew was an online-only game. Even if you were playing the single-player campaign against AI, the game still required a persistent connection to the internet to play. And on March 31st, 2024, Ubisoft shut down the servers with no fallback, effectively destroying millions of paid copies of the game. Now, plenty of you have likely never owned or even played The Crew, and to be honest, I'm in that boat too. It's totally understandable.
Nobody cares about The Crew. It's about everything else.
Your ability to play The Crew. But this isn't about one game. It's about the direction the game industry is headed as a whole. Think about it. Millions of people put down money to own a copy of The Crew. At least that's what they expected to happen. But now Ubisoft has done the virtual equivalent of walking into their homes and taking their copy back, no refunds. Nintendo gets a lot of flack for being anti-preservation, but at least your N64 cartridges are still yours to play whenever you want. While most players still have the game but just can't get past the opening screen, many players have had their digital licenses to The Crew completely revoked. Something Ubisoft can do because, regardless of what digital storefront you use, the game still needed to be licensed through Ubisoft's Uplay store. And before we say this is why you buy physical media, even the disc-based versions of the game have been rendered unplayable, becoming effectively e-waste, no more useful than a drink coaster. Ubisoft's official announcement cited server infrastructure and licensing constraints as reasons they had to discontinue the game. They don't elaborate on what licensing constraints means. Maybe they're talking about stuff like the music, but since when has music licensing meant you can't play an old game or watch an old movie you bought? To be fair, servers are a running cost, and if the game is no longer turning a profit, it's understandable that they wouldn't run them.
Yeah, but they didn't have to set up the game that way. They did it on purpose. There's no reason the game has to be played online. There's literally no reason. There's literally, I don't know if it's premeditated or what, but they definitely could have made it offline. And there's no reason that they have to make it online. They could patch it
indefinitely. I don't think anyone expects Ubisoft to hemorrhage money just to keep an old game playable. What we expect them to do is the bare minimum to let us keep playing the games we paid money for. All evidence suggests that it wouldn't have taken much work for Ubisoft to patch in an offline mode, allowing the majority of the games to remain playable while still releasing them from the burden of maintaining servers. In fact, according to the cutting room floor, the game indeed contains a hidden offline menu option. However, the anti-tamper protection...
It's literally in the game!
Ubisoft announced the servers closing over 3 months before they actually went offline, and in all that time they couldn't have enabled a menu item? Once again, you don't have to care about The Crew or the ability to play it long term, but we currently live in a world where there's nothing stopping publishers from deciding a game we bought is no longer ours to play. It's only a matter of time before it happens to a game you do care about. Ubisoft didn't break any laws doing this.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. They're gonna screw you and it really hurts.
License agreement. The question is, do we want to let this become the new normal? Do we want to buy games in the future knowing full well they'll eventually become useless? The community is putting together fan servers that should get the game up and running again, but it shouldn't be our responsibility to fix something when the company that made it arbitrarily decides it shouldn't work anymore, and we wouldn't accept.
Yeah, I mean the problem there. Well, it's not a problem, but it's something we created for ourselves. Is all a bunch of gamers in the past always pick up the pieces when the servers go down for games that are online only. That makes sense, because there's no way to play the game without the server. But not in this case, and it feels like they're just like, yeah, we can just forget about it, and the community will take care of it.
That for any other type of product we buy. So what can we do about it? Well, we need clear legislation that requires video game companies to keep games they've sold in a working state, which is exactly what Stop Killing Games aims to do. It's a worldwide initiative started by Ross Scott of Accursed Farms to take action against publishers revoking access to games you've purchased. But he can't do it alone, he needs our help. If you want to stop this,
I mean, government legislation's probably one of the strongest options here. But like, we don't even need that. We could literally just vote with our wallet. Like, we just stop buying their games and they'll start to learn. But it might take some time, and how many games you want to give up? I mean, nobody's going to buy from Ubisoft. They already know. They already know. But I don't think it's going anywhere soon. Like, this buying these games and not really owning them, that's not going away anywhere soon unless somebody else steps in and starts doing it right. Because if nobody else is gonna do it, then why would they? Why would any of the big guys do it?
potential future from happening, this is most likely our best chance to do so. This is a rapidly evolving situation, so I highly recommend heading over to stopkillinggames.com to see the latest updates. As of this video, there are initiatives in both the UK and Australia to have official government hearings on this issue, with the UK Parliament even making a statement addressing it. Citizens of the UK and Australia should sign these as soon as possible, especially since Australia's has less than 2 weeks to go as of this video. There are also various consumer rights organisations you can contact, such as DGCCRF in France. You don't have to be in France to contact them, it'll count wherever you are because Ubisoft is a French company. However, the steps are a little laborious because they require you to prove that you tried to contact Ubisoft first. Once again, this
And I think the government route, the policy route, is probably going to be the only way that anything actually does get done. It would be great if somebody else could come in and do it, but that's in a bubble where we don't have the government. Like, this is the same thing that happened with the ratings board. Sega and Nintendo are basically the ones who are running the show, and no one was there to come in to stop them. There's no one to stop them. And that's like the situation here. No one's going to come along to stop them. And I could easily see this becoming a real thing. Like, it's probably going to happen. They need to change the law where you own what you own. Like, this is exactly the kind of thing that will change by law. Like, I could tell you, like, right now, it's going to happen.
The steps for that and many other ways to take action depending on where you live are on stopkillinggames.com, but keep in mind that for some of them you'll have to be diligent about following up. And of course, spreading the word on social media so as many people are aware of this as possible always helps. If we can get at least one major country to require publishers to keep games playable, that'll probably be enough that they'll just do it for everyone. But we don't know which country that's going to be yet, which is why we need to try and get as many governments' attention as possible.
It's true. You really need someone on the floor, maybe the head of a big company that's getting chewed out by the government. All the big companies, in fact. And they're going to have their arguments against it, but I don't think there's any way they're getting around it. There's no way that they can be like, yeah, we'll just sell them and it's a service. Well, we know it's not a service.
Finally, we can indirectly help the situation by being a little more vigilant about these sorts of practices in the future. Maybe thinking twice before buying an online-only game and voting with your wallet for the kind of future we want. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I wasn't initially sure if I was going to make a video about this since a lot of bigger creators already have, and it took a while before I could really dive into what was going on, but game preservation is something I know we all care about, so I wanted to do what I could to spread the word. Hopefully with your help, good things will come out of this. See you guys in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, the word needs to get out. Honestly, it's not being covered by enough people. I mean, it gets brought up every so often, but we laugh it off. Like, we definitely need more videos like this. I think I'll actually post this video because it is a big deal. Like, you should own your games. And it's getting out of control now, and I think that soon people are gonna be really heartbroken over certain games, and that's not gonna be all right. And maybe it'll cause a shift in the industry, because if you look at all of the models so far for subscription services, for like Game Pass specifically, it's mostly just Game Pass. They are having a problem keeping their bubble. Like, nobody's buying Game Pass for any of the games that are on Game Pass. The idea is just not working. Like, there are people. It's not that Game Pass isn't good. It's just not growing. New titles aren't growing it. People aren't getting Game Pass to get these new games because they're gonna play it for 1 month and then that's it. Usually that's it. Then they're not spending the full amount when they could have spent the full amount. So if it does get passed, and they can kind of get rid of the subscription services. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they can't get rid of the subscription services, but I think they're starting to learn their lesson, and some legislation to push that ahead could bring back good games. That's really what it's about. It's about bringing back good games. Like, we haven't. Where's the good games? They're all flopping or getting canceled. We need more good games. So this is probably the key change that we need. So yeah, definitely go check it out. That's Matt Casey. It's video I watched. He's really good. And yeah, if you like this video, throw me a like. And if you think I did a good job, hit that subscribe button. Thanks.